Right, this is stage 2 of bluing gun barrels. Right, once you've rubbed it all down thoroughly, then with your emery papers etc, you want to clean it off thoroughly also. Now you can either use, what I use is this multi-purpose, all-purpose thinners. You can get that how it is actually, or I use both actually. I use that, clean it off thoroughly outside because there's a lot of vapour to it, and then I use acetone, which is what most of them recommend using, some acetone. So I've done that thoroughly, and I've just gone over it again with the with this just to make sure, and it's got it all off. But before you, when you're cleaning it off, make sure you've got gloves on, because once you've cleaned it, any fingerprint marks will come out, because your natural skin gives off an oil. It will be transferred to the gun barrels, and then when you're trying to blue it, what will happen is you'll have a job to blue that particular bit because you've got a fingerprint there. So I use this super blue. This is the one I use. I've tried all the others. I've got them up here somewhere, all the different ones there, Beasley and all that lot. But and I think I've got a Philips one here as well, professional blue. You dilute that one with water, but I found this one to be the best. Now what I found out was a later date, if you was to put one of these over the cap when you finish with it, it prevents that. But this bottle's finished now, so it doesn't matter. I'll put it in here. What you'll need to do is transfer your super blue into a little tub, otherwise you're going to contaminate what's in the bottle. If you use a dauber or cotton wool, you're going to contaminate what's left in there that you're not going to be using. So always put it in a separate container. Get yourself a bit of cotton wool, and this, you only need to leave this on for about 3/4 of a minute, no more than a minute. Otherwise it's too long. And then basically what you're going to do after that is, when it's been on 3/4 to a minute, take it outside, rinse it off thoroughly, and you just dab it dry, but again leaving your gloves on. And then what I do is I warm up the barrels a little bit with my heat gun when I'm getting somewhere near halfway through there. But I'll just I'll put a first one on, and then what I'll do is I'll switch this off, and then we can catch up later. So here we go. As you can see, it goes on pretty. I prefer to use my fingers actually than that thing. They do say that really this is only for touching up, but if you prep the gun properly, you prep all the barrels properly, you can get away with rebluing the barrels. I mean, I've done one on one of my guns, what, 30 odd years ago, and they say it's only a temporary thing when you do it this way, but that was 30 years ago, and the barrels are as good as the day I've done the job. So it all depends just how well you do it, but you do need to prep it properly. If you don't prep the barrels properly, you're going to have problems. It's as simple as that. Really need to be getting a move on. You should try and do this in 2 halves really, but I've done it once before, doing it all whole like this, so it can be done. So it's just a question of getting a move on with it. But as you can see how quick it came down, didn't it? You know, and that's only because the barrels were prepped properly. You know, that's why it instantly went black when I put it on. But if you've not prepped the barrels properly, then you'll be forever trying to go over it thinking, why is it not taking? And basically the answer is because you've not prepped the barrels properly. I think I'm going to end up getting another piece of cotton wool for this one. It's not, see that one there, although it has been done, you've got to keep going over it until it actually decides to take. You see it's starting to milk up now. Well, of course, don't forget to plug the end of your barrels as well, otherwise you're going to get all that go down here. Even though if you've got chrome barrels, it still doesn't matter. You really need to make sure you plugged up your barrels. So I'm not a professional at it, but I've done what many of us do. Read up on it, watch a few videos, this, that and the other, see how they do it, and then do it out best that suits you. And but I strongly recommend you do it on an old gun, which is, this is a mate's of mine. This is an old gun, so he didn't mind doing it, like taking it on your own risk if it's not turning out right. But most of the time it does. Like if it's, as I say, it's an old gun, it doesn't really matter. Mine was an old gun, so I thought, well, why not just have a go? Like how else are you going to be able to learn how to do a few things unless you're not prepared to take a risk? So as you can see, it's gone from chrome down to black. See, it's milking up again. Like, I mean, I'm just making sure, going all over it before I decide to take it outside and rinse it off. But really it's on the point where I should be milking it off now, rinsing it off. So you see a bit of discoloration there. That will go when you've redone the barrels a few times. When it's starting to milk up like that, what it's actually doing is it's where it's a rust accelerator. That's what it is. Let's get this off. Looks terrible, doesn't it? It's off my glove hand as well. You didn't wear gloves, that'll all be going on your skin. And it starts to stink as well. Let's wipe that off. I'm going to throw that, it looks terrible. As you can see, that was just one coat. Right, I'm going to dry this off, play around with this for a little bit, and I'll get back to you shortly.